We're going to continue on here with the giving, receiving, and tithing because it all kind of ties into where we're at right now. Now, folks who have never been here before, check this out. We do stuff a little different than some places. Every week we give you a gift. And when we give you a gift, don't reach for your purse, don't reach for your wallet. It's not that. It's not about that. It's about us giving to you a gift. Now, for the new folks who have been here before, what are some of the gifts that you've received?
Rose quartz.
Rose quartz.
Rocks.
Venturing. Stone.
Stone.
CD.
CD.
Sage.
Sage.
Seed.
Seed. Okay. Today's gift is a seed. A bunch of seeds, actually. For you recovering Catholics, this really isn't communion. What this is, it'll say on the edge of it, this one's cantaloupe. You can have the most potent seeds in the whole world, but they need to fall on fertile soil. You get to provide the soil. That's it. Just like the stuff you put on the board, you can have it, but you need to put the soil and give it the time and attention that it needs. Now, if what was on your board was friendship, then plant this with a friend. Plant it for a friend. If what you want is money, then plant it and sell the vegetables. If what you want is to help someone else, then plant it. When it's ready for harvest, give the vegetables to someone else. Now, if what you wanted was health, here's an interesting little story you may want to think about. When we talk about co-creation, have you ever co-created with a seed?
Yes.
Okay? Now, some people say, yeah, I planted a seed and I co-created with it. But did you know on a molecular level, if I take this seed and I put it in my mouth and I mix this seed with my saliva, that my DNA interacts with the DNA of this seed. And this seed will sense what chemically my body needs. And as this seed grows into a fruit, it will provide my own pharmacy. It will have different chemicals inside that are exactly the levels that my body needs. Your DNA can activate this seed to be unique, its fruit to be unique to you. So if you want health, here's a pharmacy. No matter what you want, this is a tool to help you get it. And as you watch this plant grow, I'm just going to remind you how quickly that it's happening. And sometimes, just like the seeds that are germinating, it may be right under the surface, just ready to poke its head out, when we say, oh, it's probably not working, I should stop. Or, when it's just under the surface, and we may not know, we just say, I can't see nothing sprouting yet. We can look and say, what do I want? And what is the fuel for my rocket boots? I wanted love, I want to give more love out. You know, Jack and the Beanstalk with these little guys. So, you start the music, please. So I'm going to pass these out. Just take one and each one kind of sing with a song. Like we all know something. We know the concept. We know the concept of give it away. We know the concept. I want to tell you the practical application of it for just a second. Once upon a time, I used to live in LA and grow companies, made a ton of money. And when I had a ton of money, it was easy to give a ton of money. But then I moved to South Dakota because my grandpa got sick. I moved to this little town of 5,000 people and started by opening a struggling little computer store. And being the little overachiever that I am, it grew and it grew. Just like we're doing here. Now this little computer store, I was so afraid that I couldn't make money in a small town that I had my little storefront and I lived in a little apartment in the back of it. I wouldn't call it an apartment, it was a room. There wasn't a kitchen, had to share a bathroom with a neighbor. Now my total expenses every month for my business plus my apartment, and this was utilities included, was $250 a month. My total bills every month, including cell phone and business line and all this other stuff, was about $500 a month. And at that time in that little store in South Dakota, I ended up growing it to 6 figures. I was making about $100,000 a year through that store, and 95% of what I made through that store was profit. And my bills were really, really small, about $500 a month. No matter what I did, I could not keep more than $400 or $500 in the bank at any given point in time. And I was not spending foolishly. I don't even know what the heck I was spending it on. But every time, I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but every time I went to the ATM or every time I went online and checked my bank balance, there was less money there than there should have been. Like, and I'm not saying that to be cute, like there really was. Like, I had balanced my little checkbook and it should be $800 and it was $300. And I didn't buy anything, but I just couldn't get ahead. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I'm thick-headed. So I lived this way for about 4 years. Hand-to-mouth, paycheck to paycheck, even though I was making a ton of money and spending almost nothing. But when the opportunity came up to give it away, well, dude, I got $300 in the bank. Are you kidding me? Da, 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 da. My own little story. And that's what I echoed out, and it's what echoed back. Now, I'm not saying anybody else can relate to this, but I reached the point in my life that I said, I'm done with this. I've got to try something different. Because I can't live this way anymore. That was giving me an ulcer. Just trying to figure out how I was going to pay my meager bills. So I decided from that moment I was going to start tithing 10%. And just see what happened. I figured it wasn't going to get any worse. And out of my $300, I was only going to be $30, so I suppose I could handle it. It was worth giving it a shot. When I committed to it and I started doing it, every time I went to my ATM, every time I went to my bank, every time I did my online banking, I would expect to see the $300 or the $400 that I knew would be in there, and instead it was 5, or it was 6, or it was 7. Well, I'm not a real bright kid, but I like that a whole bunch better. Going there and finding I had more than I thought I had, than going there and finding out I had less than I thought I had. I kind of like that, so I kept doing it. And as I've kept doing it, when I go to the bank, there's more money in there than I think there's supposed to be. And this isn't a mind game that I'm doing with myself. It just happens that way. Opportunities were coming. Things were happening that continually put more money in there, and for no other reason than I don't even know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how a microwave works either, to be honest with you, but I still use it sometimes. But I know it works because it works. I've seen it work for me, and I've seen it work for a lot of other folks. So if one of the things that you wanted more of on your board was money, give it away. If it's love, if it's smiles, if it's acceptance, whatever it is, you do it. Now, when you exchange energy with us, we're going to pass around a little giving basket and ask if you want to exchange energy with us, and we'd sure like it if you would. In fact, I'd even put a challenge out. I would say that anybody who, no matter what you normally would give, if you give double today, if in the next week that doesn't come back to you, next week take it back out and put nothing in. I'll trust in God for you. You say, I normally put in $5 and you put in $10, over the course of this week, if that extra $5 or $10 doesn't show up for you, the next week, say, hey, that law doesn't work for me. Grab your $5, put it back in your pocket. True story. But, as a church, we also tithe, and we tithe to the God box that's in the back. 10% of everything that comes in goes into that box. Now what that God box is there's folks who need help. You know them, maybe we don't. If we know them, they're in the box. But if you know somebody who needs some help, let us know. There's a little slip of paper back there. My friend so-and-so needs some help. And whatever it is, it's a prayer request box, so if someone needs healing or prayers or energy, put that in. But sometimes the need is a little more physical, and sometimes it's a little more now. We've had things in there like, my friend so-and-so doesn't have diapers for her baby. Her name is this and her address is this. We take the money out of God box and we go buy some diapers. And we bring them over to her house if you give us the address. And we deliver it. And it's got a simple white card on it that says, I'm listening and I love you, God. That's it. 10% of whatever comes in here goes into fulfilling those requests. And it's not always monetary. Sometimes it's just somebody needs some help. My neighbor so-and-so cannot mow her own lawn. She needs some help right now. Cool. I'll do it. Mary will do it. Any other volunteers, if you want, come do it with us. Because we're just all about helping. So if you find a way that you can help somebody, let us know. Now, this morning, I'm going to tell you a little story. As you all were in here getting ready and chilling out, and I was out here at my smoky treat and all that, right? I was thinking about this guy God box, and I was thinking about last week how the folks were inspired to give something a little extra with a t-shirt. They had this idea and they acted on it. A member of this church comes up to me with a brand new microwave and says, "This is for the God box, where can I put it?" Now how cool is that? It's not just money, it's not just money, is energy. A microwave is energy also. And if we find somebody that needs a microwave, my goodness, it's going to be here. I'm listening and I love you, God. So it's not just money. If you got stuff laying around that you think other people could use, I'm volunteering our garage, honey. We will help get it to the folks who need it. And without even asking, without even putting that out there, somebody who's in this room right now showed up with a microwave and said, "Can I just put that in the garage or something?" You bet. Now, if anybody knows somebody who needs a microwave, put their name in the God box. Let us know how to get a hold of them. We will deliver it to their house with a little note that says, "I'm listening and I love you, God." There are churches that are about talking, that are about philosophies and theosophies, and come think with us this and come think with us that. This is a spiritual family of action. 2.5 weeks ago, 4 people weighed this much more than they do now 2 weeks later. That's 44 pounds, we've lost 47. This is an action place. You want more money? I want to help you get it. Sorry, but here I'd love to lead by example. And so when I inspired and I asked you to challenge God, to challenge the universe and give double what you thought you were gonna, I'm gonna do it myself too. And if it fails me, I'm gonna be the first one to take money out of the offering plate next week. But I know it's not gonna. Anyway, the point is, I'd like you to take your gift in your hand and say this prayer with me. Divine Spirit, bless these gifts. I welcome abundance in my life. Bless and multiply all that I am able to give and all that I am willing to receive. Whatever this number is right now, add a 0 to it and expect it to come back within the next 7 days. Now, I'm not saying that like a TV evangelist. I'm not saying that like, I can save your soul for $19.95. That's not where I'm at. I say it because I believe in God. I believe in the stuff that we talk about. And I've used these tools to grow companies to millions of dollars. I'm not talking about because I read it in a book. I'm talking about because I believe in it. Now, the other thing is that don't be afraid to call God on it. If I put this in, I expect to come back with a 0 on the end of it within the next 7 days. If it's the 6th day and it hasn't happened yet, I'm looking up like, you got a sense of humor? I'm waiting. And you only got a day left. Let's see how you're going to pull this off. Let's see what kind of miracle you're going to make this happen. Now, when we first started Connections, there was a lot of prayer and a lot of energy went into it. But when you first start anything, you need stuff. You need chairs, you need a quarter, you need a offering plates, you need whatever. So I kept spending money. And I looked up and I went, oh, time out. I'm spending too much. This isn't mine, it's yours. And you say I can't outgive you, then I just spent about $1,000. You want to help me out? Make that even? And fully expected God to make that even. A day later, I got a phone call from a lady talking about my dog. Said, you got a little English bulldogs? Yep. Purebred? Yep. Got papers? Yep. Okay, well my female's coming in to eat. And I'd like your dog to be the stud. Standard stud fee is pick of the litter. And these 2 dogs, with their breeding, should go between $1,500 and $2,000 that your dog will get as the stud fee. Now the day before, I had just been telling God, I put $1,000 into this thing. And then I said, God, help me out, make it happen. Doesn't always come in the way we think it's gonna. Mine come in through a bulldog. $1,500, $2,000. Paid me right back with interest. Hello. It came back more than I put out. Also, it helped me not take myself too seriously, because the same exact Sunday that we started this, I became an actual pastor of my own little church instead of a guest minister. I also became a fully legitimate pimp. $5,700 sexual services. So, I became a pastor and a pimp in the same week. So, my version of my God did a real good job as a tool of keeping me humble. It is tough to take yourself too serious. I mean, put on a business card, pastor and pimp.